Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at Beautylish's Lunar New Year brush. It's year 2021, so it's the year of the ox, and you can expect there's a very adorable ox design on the brush. In fact, there are two of them, so it's an oxen design. The brush comes in this plastic wrap, and then as you take it out, the brush actually sits in a second wrap, I guess, to better protect it during transit. Here's the brush. There's the oxen design. Look how cute they are. I love that they're a pair. The design element goes all the way around the brush. And the detail seems to be, I don't know, it seems like it gets more detailed every year. I don't know how well you can see, but on this moon, you can see some silvery on it. And that is a deliberate design element. I guess they wanted to make the moon a little bit more dimensional in the colors and reflections, so they added some silver. When I look at last year's Lunar New Year brush, also by Beautylish, there was also a moon, but the moon didn't have that silver. Initially, I thought maybe this was a mistake, maybe it was damaged, but when I looked at photos online, every single photo I saw had that bit of silver detail here, so I know for sure it's intentional. The way these brushes are made is with a technique called Makie, and it's a Japanese lacquer decoration technique. So the handle is lacquered finish, and to create this design, they basically draw in the design and then sprinkle powders on top. The powders they sprinkle are metals. So there are gold, silver, and of course whatever metals to give this kind of pink, bronzy color or effect. And it's just very, very detailed, hand-drawn, hand-sprinkled. It's long-lasting as well. And I've seen people ask questions before online whether this will fade with regular wear. Obviously your hand's going to be in contact with it as you use it. The answer is no. It's very durable and it will not fade. I'll give you an example here. This is last year's Lunar New Year brush. It was Year of the Rat in 2020. So first of all, this is the moon I was referring to, and there's no silver detail on it or silver powders mixed in to complete the design. And the design does go all the way around the brush. There has been, from what I can see, no fading. I mean, there are fingerprints on it from the oils on my hand, but if I wipe it with like a microfiber cloth, it appears and looks as new and shiny as the day I first got it. And you can see these little kind of grass details around the brush. Those have remained the same. Like even the smallest detail has not faded in any way. It's really, really beautiful. I'm gonna hold the two side by side so you can see the specs are the same. So these two are basically the same brushes, only that their designs are different. Year of the Rat, I've used this in the past year throughout 2020. I've washed it a couple of times. So you can see that this has really, fluffed out. And this is brand new out of the wrapping. You can see the difference between the two. Because this is so dense, it takes about a day to fully dry. I received this afternoon, so I haven't gotten a chance to actually wash it. So I won't be demoing this brush today. However, I will use this brush and demo it since the two are basically the same. And before we get into the demo, which is going to be super fast, I'm using it to apply blush and highlighter. I want to talk a little bit more about the specs of the brush, starting with the design. The Chinese zodiac is what we have. It's themed around basically all the animals. And I do hope they'll continue to do this until they've gone through all the animals, and maybe we'll get a new kind of design or a new kind of concept after that. There are 12 zodiac animals. This year is Year of the Ox. Last year was Year of the Rat. Beautylish actually started making these Lunar New Year brushes when it was Year of the Pig in 2019. Next year is going to be Year of the Tiger. So if you are born in the years, and I have written down here, 1962, 1974, 1986, 1998, and 2010, you would be a tiger since you were born in the year of the tiger. I am so looking forward to seeing that cute little tiger design. I hope they stick with the theme of having very cute designs because that's right up my alley. These brushes, when I look at other Makie style Japanese handmade brushes, it most closely resembles the Chikuhodo Makie series, MK2 specifically. Now the MK2 brush is made with gray squirrel hair. This is made with blue squirrel hair. But this whole, like the lacquered handle, the specs are not exactly the same, so I do think there is some variation in the length of the brush and also the length of the bristles too, but the look and feel is very, very similar. I will post a picture above. Now the prices of the two brushes between the MK2 and this Lunar New Year brush is quite different. The MK2 retails for $178 US. This Lunar New Year brush is $125 this year. It was also priced at $125 the year before. And I really hadn't started collecting brushes and getting really into fude until last year. So I want to say Year of the Pig, the first year they had a Lunar New Year brush, that was also priced at $125. So knowing that they're both handmade, they're of, you know, Makie technique in terms of this design overlay, as well as the region they were made in, maybe the similarity in the artisans who worked on the MK2 from Chikuhodo and this Lunar New Year brush. I would say at $125, the brush is a steal. And I'm not saying you need this brush because this is very much a collector's item. But if you are curious about fude or you're looking to add something very special, limited edition to your budding collection, I highly recommend the brush, both for its adorable design, the quality of the brush, and also the price. And a little bit more about the brush directly from Beautylish's website. We teamed up with legendary Japanese brush makers to celebrate the Year of the Ox with a special limited edition release. The Lunar New Year brush is an artfully designed powder brush that's as delightful to use as it is to behold. And it's made with soft blue squirrel hair, and it's also meant to be used with powders. So let's head on to the demo. I am going to use last year's brush because it's washed and ready to use. I'm going to use Wayne Goss's Weightless Veil Blush and Highlighter. So I'm first going to actually dip into the highlighter because I think it's going to be a very flattering look. And this is with, you know, 3 or 4 kind of dabs. This is how much product it got. Just going to tap it and overlay that on the cheek. I don't mind that I'm getting a bigger surface area. So this is with the highlighter applied underneath, or first, before we overlay it with blush. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Wipe the brush off of excess highlighter. I'm going to go into the blush now. And this is how much product the brush got. Tap off excess. I think we can add a little bit more. So you can see this brush, given how dense and big it is, it just naturally covers more area, and it also diffuses the product fairly easily because it's a fluffy brush. When I compare it to Sonia G's Soft Cheek, look at the size difference there. The Soft Cheek also diffuses product well, but the area it covers is quite different. I'll be using bigger motions, but I have more control of how the product goes on and how I diffuse it. This is very suitable for using all over face powders, and also just as you saw me use it to just really get a lot of area right away. You could say the look that I have now is a very glowy look. If I were to use a soft cheek with this smaller brush head, it would look more concentrated and maybe more dramatic. So it just depends what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. Another face brush of Sonia G that I have is the Classic Cheek. So this is a Classic Cheek, soft cheek, and the Lunar New Year brush. This one, the Classic Cheek, is a lot denser than the soft cheek. And of course, while this is dense, these bristles are bundled tighter. So when you apply it, it's not as fluffy, like the feeling, and you can use it to diffuse your color, but it's even tighter in control than this. It also picks up quite a bit of product. So again, it just comes down to what you want to do. This brush could also be used for highlighter because you get more control out of it. You can do the same, these are all multitaskers. It just depends on, your ultimate goal and what you want it to look like. And on many occasions when I am not sure if I want more concentrated color in a very confined area on just my cheekbones here, or I want something that's more, glowy and gives me this pink flush, I'll go for this brush. I don't typically use it for all over face powder. However, now that I have two, one could be for blush and the other could be for face powder, and I wouldn't have to think about washing them as often, to get the pigment off. As for how the brush feels, it's very, very soft. Blue squirrel hair is extremely soft. These two brushes are made up of Chikuhodo goat hair. This is dyed, this is undyed. So they're very soft as well, but the blue squirrel is going to be the softest compared to the goat hair. And a final note, I was very curious whether the new brush is going to feel softer than what I have already that's been used. I'm just gonna, it's very soft. Very, very soft. I want to say the new brush is softer because it hasn't been washed and I feel like there's no residue, like soap residue on it. While I try really hard to make sure I rinse out like any soap, I still think inevitably there's like a little bit, and it still feels very soft, but this is softer, and I guess it also feels cleaner because, no product has been applied on it. A tip on the cleaning itself, because it's so dense, any soap you use that has any kind of suds, you'll want to make sure you clean the center of the brush as well. I find that I have to rinse this easily 5-6 times, either under, running water, or I just, have to make sure I get all areas because it's just so dense. And then after that, I put a brush guard on top of it so that it would kind of go back into its shape. Now, when you remove it from the brush guard, it's very skinny, so you do have to fluff it out before you use it. And after using it a few times, it kind of just fluffs out like it's supposed to. So those are just my tips and my experience in terms of keeping the brush well shaped, and then how to take care of it. Also, I recommend on keeping this area dry as much as possible because you don't want there to be too much moisture to get into the furl itself. You want this to just hold on to the bristles tightly and for that to not ever change if possible. And that's how you can get a brush to, or at least that's one of the things to do to get your brush to last for possibly a lifetime. And I'm sure everything that I said just now, all the fude experts, collectors watching this know so well already. If you have any questions about these brushes, let me know, leave a comment below. I'll try my best to answer them. And the most exciting thing I want to leave you guys with is this brush. As of the time I'm filming and checking the website, it is still in stock. The brush from last year was sold out by the time, no, it was sold out maybe 2 days after I placed my order. So when I made my video last year, it had been sold out for days already. But this is still available. So if you are interested, I provided a link below for you to go take a look. Again, I'm not saying you need it, but if you are interested, I'm not stopping you from buying it. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, ring the bell to get notified every time new content is released, and give this video a thumbs up. I do occasionally review brushes, especially Japanese handmade brushes. I will see you guys soon. Bye!